Muffins to be nice and light, so it's good to use a combination. And then 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This will give it a nice rise. And ½ teaspoon of bicarb. That'll make the crumb really, really tender. And now a good pinch of salt. And then sift it all together. Now, usually I don't sift my flours, but the reason I'm doing it with this is because I want to get the bran from the wholemeal flour to sprinkle on the top. Just makes it look really, really good. Extra decoration. Okay, so those are the dry ingredients. Now I'm going to get on with the wet ingredients. So I need 2 eggs, free range or organic if you can. Whisk them up a bit. And then the pumpkin. So I've got 240 grams and I've boiled it already. 100 ml of plain yoghurt, 275 ml of milk, 60 ml of vegetable oil, a few squidges of honey, so it's nice and sweet. Okay, and just a quick stir. And now I'm going to put the wet and the dry ingredients together. So they say when you're making muffins, you should only do about 8 stirs, otherwise the crumb gets very chewy. So in everything goes, and it's a very liquid, unattractive mix. So just really gently mixing it together. Roughly mixed, but that'll do fine. So now I'm going to pour it back into this jug and make it much easier to put it into the muffin cases. There, see, it doesn't look very attractive at all, but it does taste very good once it's cooked. I'm going to put it in the muffin cases. So, I've got these baking parchment squares here. They're about 14 centimetres squared, and you can use the little paper cups that come ready-made, but I like to use these because it gives it that lovely deli feel when it's baked with the spiky bits coming up. It's a bit of a faff, but it is worth it in the end. So I just start off with some oil. Just the spray oil is easiest. And then take one of your squares, push it all the way down into the hole, and then take your muffin mix and just pour it in right the way to the top. And then take your reserved bran and pumpkin or butternut squash. Just sprinkle on the bran. Put these little squares on as well, and I like to put some on the top because otherwise all that lovely colour gets lost in the mix. And then lastly, I like to put on some pumpkin seeds, give it some extra crunch. Right, now I'll just get on with the rest. Don't they look good? So I'm going to put these in the oven, 200 degrees, for about 20 to 25 minutes, and once they're cooked and cooled, I'll freeze them. So that's 11 for the freezer and 1 for me.
Stilton this morning on Saturday Kitchen. Nigel Slater's enjoying the Christmas cheese. After a tour of the cheesemongers, he's back in the kitchen stuffing mushrooms with Stilton and walnuts. I think that's the idea of food help. I think it's probably. And Tristan and Nathan will be helping celebrate. Oh, don't you see that?
Mind me out.
Christmas cheer. The only way we know how, by attempting to break all known existing omelette making records. I thought that was good, getting 3 of them in like that anyway, but you can see it all happen in just a few minutes from now. Or what we'll be cooking for Julie at the end of the show, which will be facing that food heaven, tomatoes and a sensational margarita pizza. Very simple but very tasty. Or food hell, Stilton and a deep-fried blue Stilton cheese with figs and little gem salad. Tristan, what did it sound of? Are you going to go for... There's no obviously voting today, but what would you like to taste? Pizza?
Do you know what? Do you know what? I would like.
Pizza.
Talking tonight, yeah, pizza. But it's got to have the bacon and the blue cheese on it. We got to. I want to sit on the fence here.
That's not fair.
Do you know what I'd really like for Christmas though?
Anyway, it's not up to you anyway. But anyway,
there we are.
Of course, it's not up to our chef today, like I said. Instead, we're letting fate decide. And I'll explain exactly how at the end of the show. Right, cooking next is a regular here on Saturday Kitchen. He's cooking one of his Christmas family favourites this morning, is that right?
Shoo-hoo!
Tristan Welch. What's on the menu then?
Well, my favourite cut of venison's on the menu. Look at this. The venison foreshank. It's a bit like a lamb shank.
I've never seen people cook this before.
So it's from the front legs of the old deer.
So you're going to marinate this first of all?
Yeah. Yes, so first of all, it's not my old deer, it's the old deer. Obviously, I'll be in trouble. So it's going to marinate it in red wine and port. There we are. Put loads of it in there. So this is slowly cooked then, I take it. What's the name of this dish then? Look, it says venison casserole. Right. I think with roasted pears and parsnips and Cheltenham beetroot and all those sort of wonderful things. It's a real. Okay. I mean, look at the array of ingredients. It's a real seasonal treat. Right. So this has got red wine and port, thyme, peppercorns, bay leaves, and juniper berries. We're going to pop it into the the fridge there, and we'll take out this one. And I better get me the pears on as well before they'll be raw otherwise. There you go. So how long are you going to marinate that for then? So we don't marinate that overnight. Yeah. Well, at least overnight. You can marinate 2 or 3 days. In fact, that's what I would do. A couple of these pears. Now this is one of my favourite seasonal sort of. It's not a vegetable, but I use it as a vegetable at the moment. It's pear, and they roast beautifully in loads and loads of. What's your favourite thing called again? Butter. Butter. There we are. Loads and loads of butter. So I'm just going to cut them in half. You don't have to use a melon baller, but if you're a fancy chef like me, it kind of comes second nature. Cut out the stalks there like that. And a pinch of salt on it.
Do you want me to dice up the bacon or something? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Or if not, we can crack on with the old...
small or chunky?
Chunky, please. Chunky. It's just a flavouring agent, really. Loads of butter, and we get those pears in, cracking away there.
All right. Okay.
Lovely, and I'll get that frying off in the pan as well, because it'll be nice to fry off the venison shanks in the fat from the.
Now you mentioned you get these from a butcher. That's a lot of butter going in there.
You like it, eh?
Well.
Is it too much butter for you? Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
It's enough.
It's enough, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I think it really helps. And also, if you want to make it a bit more Christmassy, you chuck in some cinnamon, some cloves, and all that sort of stuff, and get that great sort of spiciness going. Right. For the venison, touch of olive oil.
Right, we've got these are onion squashes, these little things, aren't they?
Yeah. Did you know the squash?
I don't know, but you're about to tell me.
I'm going to tell you, yeah, exactly. Are you sitting comfortably? Yeah. The squash family, it really derives from the cucumber family. There we are.
Really?
You heard it here first, and it wasn't a Christmas cracker, actually.
Too much of that mulled wine, I think that's what it is.
Well, not enough. Right. Our button's fried a lot quicker than I thought it would have done.
Yeah.
I'm going to season these venison shanks. Yeah. And pop them in as well, and let them fry away there. And get a nice brown colour. Keeping all the port and red wine that's been marinated in, because we're going to use that in the casserole as well. Give it that rich flavour. There we are. Get a nice golden brown colour on that.
Yep. And these, of course, have got the little seeds in it. You get so many different types of squash. I believe
I know, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's
700 odd different types of squashes
I've got to say, the onion squash is my favourite, actually. And I like it because you can eat the skin on it.
I've just thrown it away.
System breakdown. Breakdown. What's right? It's there we go. We can put it back. They'll never know. It'll be all right in the night. There we are. Lovely. Obviously, it needs to cook first. But
how big of pieces do you want these?
Nice little wedges.
What, a little wedge? Yeah. You know, I mean, it's either that Nathan Outlaw wedge or that Kenny Atkinson wedge. How big a wedge do you want?
Well, can I have a sort of Kenny Atkinson meets Nathan Outlaw wedge and then go in half?
Half of it.
Bingo. Perfect. Spot on.
There you go.
Beautiful. Right, so our venison ribs shanks are nice and coloured there. See that really dark coloration there? That's what we're after there. Yeah. Get that beautiful, rich flavours into it. So we're going to put in our vegetables first. Let's put in our vegetables first. Crikey, maybe it was the mulled wine.
Yeah, exactly. Your house is going to stink, the heat of that
house
pan.
is going to stink. Lucky I'll do it around my mum's, not here. Okay. Right, so just cut up the vegetables roughly, your carrots, your celery, and your onion. That's a big onion, isn't it? Look at
now, little birdie tells me you're taking a break.
Yes, your birdie informs you well.
From cooking?
No, not from cooking, not from cooking. I'm just taking a bit of time out from London, so to speak. I'm moving to Sweden. I'm going to...
moving to Sweden?
Yes, just for the year. Taking a year out of Sweden. That's the whole idea.
Taxman. That's what it is.
Wow.
You're earning too much money.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
No, it's not. It's about getting back to some core values in cooking and like
core values.
Absolutely core values. Yeah, like
in Sweden.
Well, yeah, because we're going to live in a nice little rural location, really close to wild foods and things like that, and kind of get a bit more closer to nature. That's the idea. Right now, all my vegetables are nicely caramelised away and cooked away. Lovely.
What am I doing with these?
You're going to cut them in. No, you're going to cut them in half. We're going to wrap them up, cook them on papillote.
Just like that?
That's it. Perfect. I've just popped the parsnips in the.
I've been drinking,
pears. Sorry? I've not been drinking. I would love a drink if you got one. I mean,
right, so that's all gone in about 15 kilos of butter.
Yes.
What's gone in here then?
I'm going to call this the James Martin method of cookery here.
Right,
There's a recipe. So in here, I've sweated off me. I've coloured off my shanks. I've coloured off my vegetables. I've put in the marinade with some thyme and the rest of the beautiful herbs in it.
Yep.
And now we're going to put in our stock.
Yep.
We'll cover it up like so. And put a lid on it and let that come back up to the simmer while we cover that in tin foil and pop it in the oven.
Where's your tin foil?
I don't know. Here we are.
Okay. Right. This is cooking these little on papillote.
Yeah. Would you mind making me a little vinaigrette with some vinegar and the oil there?
Vinegar and olive oil.
Yeah. Vinegar and olive oil. Just because I think it gives the beetroot a little bit of acidity, and this onion squash. Do we want the Kenny Atkinson one in there? Or?
No, that's it. That's fine.
Even Kenny can come too. There we are.
There you go.
So. That's it. Actually, I've put some of that thyme. I put a little bit extra thyme in that one. It should have gone in there. Okay. There we are. Salt and pepper in there.
Well, it's a great idea for Christmas, this, isn't it, really? Because you can just pop it in the oven and forget about it.
Seriously, this whole recipe can be done the day before. So it doesn't matter if you've had a drink, all right?
It helps.
Oh, it might help, yeah.
So I'll grab this thing.
If you wouldn't mind, yeah. You grab that and I'll grab the veggies. Super duper.
There you go. And how long's this going in the oven for then?
That about 3 hours, I think.
3 hours?
Yes, but it's well worth that wait. But the vegetables, they take about 25-30 minutes.
Temperature?
And look at it. All at about 140 degrees centigrade for the casserole. A bit hotter for the veggies.
Right.
Yeah, now look at this. This is lovely. This is what I'm talking about now. Look at that lovely richness
that
there.
Does look good, though, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, seriously, this is my favourite winter vegetable right now, even though it's not a vegetable. There we are. We'll just let it turn over like that. So let's take out one of these shanks here.
What, those?
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was wondering where it was in there. No, but this is... No, right. Take that, look at that, though. This is like so excited about this. Look at that meat. It just falls off the bone like that. It's so delicious.
A bit like the lamb shanksy sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
Sort of the same.
Oh, absolutely.
And how much would you pay for one of those if you're going to... If you got one, that is. They're quite difficult to find.
Don't pay over £2 for one. Don't pay over £2 for one, that's what I say.
Because the lamb shanks have got quite expensive.
They are, because everyone's using them, that's why. I love the smell of the papillote that comes out. Look at the aroma, it's just fantastic.
Just stop yapping and get it on the plate.
All right, but I mean... See, I'm not even in charge of my own cook recipe, am I?
There you go.
Yeah, put the venison shank there, full off the bone, and look, the piece de resistance is a roasted pear. Lovely, and a couple of parsnips. Just... Do
you want a bigger plate?
I'd like... Do you know what? Let's all put it in the casserole. That's the best place for it.
There you go. Do you want the sauce as well?
Yes, please.
There's a spoon.
Lovely. And what I like to actually is just plonk all the veg on top of the casserole and put it in the middle of the table.
Yeah. But you finish that off with a few chestnuts?
Yeah, chestnuts are in the sauce.
Yeah.
Last minute. I love chestnuts, and I think they're lovely with things like crushed parsnips and all that, which would be a great side veggie, actually, or crushed celeriac.
So tell us what
that is. Let's put all the sauce on there, because it's a casserole, I think you need it all. There we are.
Tell us
so
what
that's
it is
the venison shank casserole with roasted winter vegetables and a pear.
I have to say, it looks delicious. I like how you've got the side dish of that by the side of it as well.
Yes, yeah. Do you like your butter salted or not, James?
Exactly.
Yeah, there we are. Lovely.
Right, there you go. I think there's enough for everybody.
If not, there's plenty more in the kitchen, isn't
Dive
there?
into that. I have to say, I've never tried this piece of venison. Have you?
No, never tried it. No. I think it's lovely.
Oh,
It smells amazing.
Tender.
It cooks beautifully, I tell you. It's not got that nice, sticky, gelatinous sort of thing to it there.
But I've never seen that in any supermarkets or anywhere. So you butchers, like you say, that predominantly it's put into mince.
Yeah, it'll be put into mince. What a
burgers,
shame.
I
What a
presume.
sacrilege.
Yeah.
That is delicious.
Worth finding?
It's so tender, melt in your mouth.
It's good, isn't it?
Beautiful.
There you go. While you pass it down, let's go back to Dorchester to see which wine Susie Atkins has chosen to go with Tristan's terrific